Hey everyone, I just wanted to talk about church planting today, and I wanted to basically talk more towards ministers and pastors and people going overseas or in their own country to start a church. Through the years and through the time meeting different people and seeing different things happening in different places that I've been, I've seen when people claim that they're starting a church where they go into different churches first. That once they go into the country, they start visiting at different churches that already exist there. They say hello, they make themselves known, they start taking numbers, acting like they just want to take each other's number, go for a coffee, whatever. But the agenda, and I'm saying only if the agenda is this, it's wrong. So the agenda was actually to, when they start doing Bible studies first, or when they start having a place to have church, and they start having their programs or an event to get people to come, like a worship night or a prayer night or whatever night, there's an agenda. So that when they went to make friends, it actually was to build up a database of numbers so they can have people that they call to come to their events, to come to their church things. So when they start their church and their church starts growing, it's really growing from already existing Christians. Now, what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that is if the agenda was that, it's just an evil motive, because we're not called to start churches by going into a new place or a new area or a new city or country and go into the different churches to make sure to lure the already existing Christians, so they're already going to a church. They're already being discipled and loved on and trained up and all that kind of stuff. It's already happening. And you going into those churches so you can get them from there, and that's your actual agenda. So you can, when you start your thing, they start coming to yours, and they're innocently thinking, yeah, I'll come and see what you're doing just to support you, to say hello. And then they don't realize that they're slowly getting lured into what your agenda was and your motive was, your hidden motive, to grab them from where they were to start coming to your church. And so I just want to say, if that's how you're planting a church, that's just plain evil. So I think be careful of your heart, of why you're doing what you're doing. You don't need to do that. If you really want to start a real church, well, how do you start a real church? To start a real brand new church, you don't go look for who's already Christians and then try to lure them in through dinners and barbecues and parties and a new Bible study, blah blah blah. And it's just, you should be going out on the street looking for those who have no church, looking for those who are not Christians and bringing them to the Lord, and then bring them in to disciple them. So if that's not your agenda, to go look for new people that don't know Jesus or don't have a church, and to help them come to a place where they can be discipled and trained up and loved and equipped in the ways of God, then there's no point you saying you're starting a church, because in the eyes of God, you're not starting no church. You're just having an evil motive. And usually what I've seen with those people that do it this way as well, they're also always part of this umbrella, which is cool to have umbrellas. It's awesome, like to be part of a wider body that's around the world. But usually I see them like they're more interested in elevating and promoting their church brand, like Nike, Reebok, Adidas, or like a football team. It's like they're more, we're this church and we're this church. It's all about the name and the brand of that church and what that's all about and what it's doing. And it's less about Jesus. So it's their heart is like, our church this and our church that. It's like, man, stop building an idol. We're under Jesus. Build Him. Let them know who He is. Bring them to Him. Show them the way. So I hope that that's the case. That's why you go start a church. Now, in saying that, the flip side of this is that even if you go start a church, there is times where you can have the best motive. So you don't have that evil motive, but you have a real heart for people, you love people, and you went to this new country, this new city, this new whatever, to plant a church. And as people get to know you because you're around and you've been to different places, different events, and you're saying hello and you're genuine about why you're giving your number away or taking their number, you actually do want to have a coffee with them, say hello, get to know people that are around in the city and the area you're going to be functioning in and having your church in. Sometimes, even if you're not trying to bring the people to your church, the new church you're going to build or start in the name of Jesus and for God, if it's of God to do it, then you can't help who ends up starting to come to you. It's not your fault if they just start. Because there's always going to be Christians that move around from different place to place. There's always going to be Christians that genuinely have prayed and they've heard God say that this is the church I need to move to and it's time to move now. So that's genuine, that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. We're all in the same team, so we're helping God's people. So if they believe from the church I'm pastoring and they go to another person's church, I know the different pastors around the areas where I'm staying and I'm doing church. And I go, yeah, man, that's awesome. Like, I don't get, they left me, like they're mine. They're not mine, they're the Lord's. And I love them as unto God. And I love them as Jesus would love them, as much as I'm learning to. And but I'm not a control freak. I need to be with me. So the flip side of that, be careful, you pastors as well, that get all control freak on people and want to oppress them and control them and scare them that if they go anywhere else, all this kind of stuff. Calm down, man. Just pray for them and desire the best for them, and know that God loves them more than you do and cares more than you do about them, and I do. And He will make sure that if they're genuinely pursuing Him, that even if they make a mistake, He'll turn it around for good for those who love Him. And so if they go to a wrong place, fine, go chase them, teach them, help them. But if they're just going to another church that you know about, you know who the pastor is, it doesn't matter if it's not exactly how you would want things done. But just bless them, love them, and just don't hold a grudge against them and get all thingy because they left you. It's not about you. It's about them loving God and growing in who He is. So I just wanted to make a quick video about both flip sides, because I've seen these things happen in the past as well, and not even in the past, even at this point, I've seen these things happening. So just, as a minister, as a pastor, just check your heart and why you're doing what you're doing. Just check your motive. Is it because you're trying to build a brand of a church, or you're trying to build up the name of Christ? You're trying to lift Him up and you genuinely love people? And also stop being a control freak if you are, and thinking that just because people don't want to go to your church anymore and they want to go to someone else's, that the other person's stealing your sheep. And it's, you get all bitter and angry about that, and then you start backstabbing and gossiping them against them. Just, calm down, man, okay? Pray for them. If you care so much, pray for them. Pray for even the pastor and the church that they're going to. And just, let it be. They've chosen to do what they've chosen. They'll sow whatever they sow, they shall reap. And you just keep praying that if they made a mistake, that they'll come back. You just love them, don't even mention it, and just keep training them and teaching them and growing. We're all going to make mistakes, and I'm sure you have, and I have, and we all have. And let's learn to pick up each other and love each other, and also cheer each other on in the things that God is doing. So not everything will look like we thought it should look like for every person or for us, but God's ways are not always our ways, and so we might think they are, but He says it Himself. So let God be God, and even if they make a mistake thinking it was God, so be it. God will help them. You just jumping in and acting all weird on them is not going to help them come back. It's just going to make them feel like you're a control freak. So be careful, guys. that's all I wanted to say. Hope that helps people like ministers and pastors. I don't mean any condemnation or hurt against you or anything like that. I'm just saying we can all fall into a little trap of bad way of thinking or doing things. Just let God check you out. And yeah. And also, if you've left because of offense or bitterness or anger because of your church, please deal with that first. And if your church or pastor or whatever doesn't want to hear it, that's their problem. But you deal with it. Don't go with baggage into another church, and then, because all you end up doing is through that bitterness and anger or whatever, because I wasn't loved, I wasn't taken care of, I wasn't noticed or whatever, because of that way that you're going to be, you might do the same thing or poison the other church because you're going with poison into the other church, you know. I'm talking about as a mature Christian. And also, another encouragement to Christians, don't go to churches looking for how they can serve you, but look for how you can serve them. If you've been a Christian for a while, stop being selfish when you go to a church. Stop looking to see if they've got the right coffee machine I want, or the right worship style, whatever. I'm saying don't be addicted to what I can take from a place, but go there to make that place even better, to serve and love the people that are there and make it even better. Give what it's lacking, maybe. If it's lacking it, go be the one who loves the people like you want to be loved and all that. So, and serve the people like you want to be served. You're the one. So, okay, hope that helped. Bye.